Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to the Prosperous Yogini podcast, episode 2. And today we're going to talk about what to charge, particularly in relation to what to charge in terms of your weekly classes. I am really hoping you have had a chance to listen to episode 1 where we talked about it is safe to make money. I'm just going to remind you of those mantras. It is safe for you to make money from your passion. It is safe for you to make money from your skills, knowledge and gifts. It is safe for you to make money helping people, and it certainly is safe for you to make money teaching yoga. And you've turned up today ready to take action towards that goal. In fact, you know it's not just safe for you to make money, that it's your dharma, it's your duty, because for you to share your gift, to share your skills, your knowledge, your services with the world that help people, for you, in order to do that, then an energy exchange needs to be in balance. You need to be earning enough money for you to support yourself so you can arrive consistently, show up for your students with abundance and with energy. So hopefully we're there. If not, go back and listen to episode 1. And you are ready to take action. And this is important, the taking action bit. Now I'm going to go on a tangent for a moment and use a yoga example in terms of taking action. I wake up tomorrow and decide that I am ready to practice to do a headstand freestanding in the middle of the room. Now, confession time here. I can do a headstand. I've been doing a headstand for years. I really like doing a headstand near a wall. I don't use the wall, I don't touch the wall, but the wall is a massive place of safety for me. The thought of doing a headstand in the middle of the room is really scary. But I wake up tomorrow and I'm going to confront this fear, come out of my place of safety and take action, because that is where real transformation happens. Trust me. Now I will read my books. I'll get all my books out. I've got way too many yoga books. I get all my yoga books out and read on all the advice in terms of doing headstand. I watch some YouTube videos and I get my journal out and I write affirmations like, I can do a headstand, I am strong, I am safe doing headstand in the middle of the room. These are all great things to do in supporting me towards my goal of a freestanding headstand in the middle of the room. But nothing will happen unless I take action. That action is rolling out my yoga mat and doing my practice, committing to the process, which at times I will need to be patient, at times will be frustrating, at times will be uncomfortable. These are all things you experience when running your business. When you are a solo entrepreneur in a service-based business, putting yourself out into the world saying, hey, come and buy my services. Hey, come to my yoga classes. Hey, join me for a yoga retreat. These are all things that will often feel uncomfortable, and you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone in order to share your skills, your gifts, your energy, your knowledge with the world. Our yoga practice teaches us how to run our yoga business. There is no difference between the two. And the thing is, you already know that, because I'm sure you tell your students all the time about how it's not just about the yoga we do on the mat, but it's also taking that yoga off the mat. And I really will talk an awful lot in these podcasts about how you already know what to do for your yoga practice in terms of applying that to your business, to your yoga business. So how the hell do you know what to charge when it comes to weekly classes? The first thing you will see when it comes to charging, full stop, the advice is to charge what you're worth. Now this can be useful advice, but our worth is entangled into a whole load of mind stuff trash, mind stuff rubbish. I am human just like you, and some days I don't feel overly worthy. So some days if I'm trying to charge what I'm worth, I might be thinking, look, just come to class for free. So charging what you're worth can be useful, but it also can get us into a messy rabbit hole of a whole load of other issues in terms of whether we feel worthy or not that day. It can also lead us into the comparison trap. How do I know how worthy I am? Well, I'll have to compare myself to other people, other yoga teachers, and judge my worthiness against them. Now, non-attachment. You know about non-attachment. It's part of the philosophy of yoga. I'm sure you share this non-attachment with your students. You have to be non-attached to this process, because the next thing you might do after thinking about what you might be worth is having a look at what other teachers are charging around you. This is a useful exercise. If you've got no idea what to charge for your yoga classes, then going online, having a look at what teachers around you are charging will give you an indication, a suggestion of what might be something you charge. But you have to go at this process non-attached. Otherwise, these type of things happen. Again, you get sucked into the compare and despair, the comparison trap. You go on a yoga teacher's website, they have this amazing website, and you're like, whoa, their website's really good. They've really got their shit together. I cannot charge as much as that. Or you go on another teacher's website and they've been teaching for 20 years and you think, wow, I've only just qualified. I can't charge the same as this teacher. I go back to episode 1. Money doesn't care how long you've been teaching, and actually your students, I hate to say this, guys, your students don't really care how long you've been teaching or what your qualifications are. They just care about you. They'll turn up to your class, they'll like your vibe, they'll like your energy, and they'll keep coming. Or you won't be right for them, but you're not attached to that outcome and you let them go, and your vibe literally does attract your tribe. Trust me, it really does. So it can be useful thinking about what am I worth, and in that think about all the years that you've been practicing yoga, all the time, money that you've invested, even if so far you've just done your 200-hour teacher training course. That is 200 hours. That's been a big time and financial investment. And before that, I'm sure you've been practicing yoga. Think about all the knowledge, all the skills that you've got. And maybe they're unrelated to yoga. So in a previous life, I was a music teacher. I taught music for 12 years, secondary school music. I trained music teachers. I wrote a PGCE music course. These are all skills that I have that contribute to my success and the skills that I can offer in my training and in my mentoring, for example. So you have thought about what you might be worth with a sense of non-attachment. You've had a look on the internet at what other people around you are charging, and this is giving you a rough idea. Great. Park all that market research as things that have been useful as a starting place. But when we want to move away from the noise trash, from the mind stuff that will be clouding our judgment, clouding our intuition, then it really helps to have some data, some facts and figures, an equation. Just to let you know, maths and figures aren't my strongest point. And the equation, which I will share with you in a bit, doesn't have a figure inside. If you're like, okay, I'm ready, X plus Y equals B equals this is how much I should charge for my yoga class. That probably is a great example of how you may come to the answer of the question, what shall I charge? So I have a little rule of thumb which has really served me. The first thing I will look at is what is the room rental. So I will just keep it really easy in terms of the maths for my brain. Let's assume I want to go out and teach a vinyasa yoga class on a Monday night, and the room rental to run that class for an hour is £20. I know straight away my rule is 2 people minimum. 2 people must cover the room rate. So first of all, I am minimum going to be charging £10 per person in that class. So 2 people rock up and I've charged, I've covered my room rental. This is minimum, by the way, guys. And then after that, if you think of it like a slice of a cake, and I'm cutting my cake into slices. So I've got my room rental, £20, and at the moment I'm thinking, okay, well, if I charge £10 per person, 2 people turn up, I have covered my room rental. What else is going to be taken out of the cake before I get to have a slice? And that slice is your profit. Okay, other things include Travel. How long does it take you to get there? Time. This is a big piece of advice, and I know we all live in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, but try to keep your travel down to the minimum. First of all, it's good for the environment, but second of all, if you've got a half an hour journey to where you're going to teach, then it's an hour's round trip. So on top of the energy exchange of going out to teach yoga, you now are factoring in an hour driving to and from the venue and the fuel that comes with that. So do try, if you're teaching in person, to keep it as local as possible. That's my big advice. I learned that particularly when I had young children. It really mattered to not be teaching too far away from my home. So you've got travel, time to travel. Equipment, you have to buy equipment. Is there equipment there? Travel, equipment, admin time. You said admin costs. Well, time is money. Admin time it takes for you to reply to emails, to process payments. You can have, and I'll talk about this in later podcasts, you can have systems in place like online payments where it reduces your admin load, but do factor in what I call the back office work, the admin load in terms of responding to inquiries and questions and booking about this class. Advertising, how are you telling people about this class? Social media is free, but website has a cost. Maybe you make a flyer. These all have costs. Do you factor these costs into the energy of going out and teaching the class? And then finally, do you pay taxes on this class? What's your income level at? Are you required to pay tax? Factor these things in, because it really does matter in terms of making a decision in terms of what you charge. Because if you don't, the likelihood is you undercharge. And later on, when I talk about my equation, this comes up. You undercharge, and over time resentment builds up. The energy exchange is out of balance. So at first you might be like, wow, I'm just going to go out and teach this class, I'm making some money. But over time you think, oh, this is a lot of effort, I've got all of these costs and time and energy attached to this class, and I'm only earning X. This isn't worth it for me. You get stuck into that loop, then the class is doomed to failure in the end. The class is doomed to failure. You don't get to share your gift of yoga with the world, and your students don't get to do yoga with you. This is why it is so important to think about these things ahead of time. So you've thought about the room rental, you've thought about those additional costs. Here comes my equation. If you're like, Amy, just tell me the equation, I'm really excited. Pens to the ready, pens to the ready. There isn't a figure in sight, by the way. I'm sorry, this is not a mathematical equation. How do you know when you've got the price for your class or you're offering, whatever it is, your service? How do you know when you've got the price right? It is a gut instinct and it just feels good. I'm sorry, that is really woo-woo, but that is the answer. If you want to know where I got that 2 people must turn up as a minimum to cover room rental from, I made this up. Nobody told me this, but that kind of felt right. That has really served me really well. That little 2 people minimum must turn up to at least cover the room rental. So you feel great about the energy exchange and your students feel great about the energy exchange. That's it. If you think of it in terms of scales, let's keep this mathematical. It is literally A plus A. So the energy exchange is equal. The scales are level. What I'm charging you, what you are getting for the money, the energy you are giving me in terms of the energy I'm giving you is completely in balance. I feel great about receiving this money. You feel great about coming to my classes. Equals you show up consistently, I show up consistently, I share the gift of yoga with you, you get the benefits of doing yoga regularly. That is the equation. If that equation is out of balance, if you are undercharging, in the end you resent it, you feel frustrated, your energy is affected, and that trust me, affects your class numbers. If you are charging too much, it feels a bit icky, you feel a bit uncomfortable about what you're asking your students to pay. This has got nothing to do with how worthy you are or what other teachers are charging. This is personal to you. The other thing we know from our yoga practice, from teaching people, is we are all unique. The only person that knows the answer to these figures is you. And it's a bit like the practice of coming towards our headstand. We do the research, we read the books, we watch the YouTube channel, we journal. You think about your worth, you have a look at what other yoga teachers are doing. Great. You then do the practice, you do the maths, you do the maths, and you think about what is the actual physical costs for me to go out and teach this yoga class, and you make sure you're meeting those costs, and then after that, there's your profit. Okay, so that's really important. That's the action. Then checking in with this equation, and you have to be patient and you have to sit with it, because sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable because you're thinking, actually, I really need to charge this. I really need to charge £15 a class to make this, the energy exchange, work. And you initially think, God, that's a lot of money. No one's going to pay that. And you need to sit in the discomfort of that. You need to be patient and wait for your higher self, that gut instinct, whatever you want to view it as, the universe, to send you signs that you are right in what you feel you should charge for this class. The other thing our yoga practice teaches us is nothing is constant. Everything is subjected to change. So we will spend hours, ages, wrangling over prices. I have been there, and I said, you know what? This, every time I put a new offer out into the world, I'm like, hands on heart, I'll confession, in the next few weeks, I will be launching my Prosperous Yogini mentoring program. Do I know what I'm charging at the moment? No. Am I going through this process in terms of what I'm going to charge? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I keep coming back to the equation. If I charge this, I know exactly what it's going to cost me in terms of tech equipment, time, energy. So I've got the facts and figures. Okay. I've had a look, of course, at what other yoga mentors, yoga business coaches are charging, what they're doing. I've done my market research. I've done my best to be non-attached to what I think I'm worth on a daily basis. And then I'm just coming back to this equation. What feels right? If I charge X, how do I feel about that in terms of energy exchange? And I come up with a figure and I sit and think with it, and I'm still in that process. I'm inviting you to take this process about a weekly class. The process can be applied to anything that you're offering, So that equation one more time. A plus A equals everyone's happy. I love that. A plus A equals everyone's happy. You feel really aligned with what you're charging. You feel the energy exchange is in balance. Because you feel that, your students feel that too. They are more than happy to give you the money for your wonderful services. If it's out of balance, you will end up resenting it. Or if it's too cheap, you'll resent it, you'll burn out, you'll eventually stop. Everyone loses in that point, in that place. Your students may feel, and I've been there, I've been to a class with a really great teacher, or I've had a wonderful massage with someone and they're not charging enough. I'm like, I want to give you more money. I mean, have you ever been in that stage where you've gone to someone, received a service, a massage, a treatment, and they've really undercharged, and you're like, can I give you more money? I've been there. I know I've been there, and your students will feel that if you're not charging enough for your yoga. If you're overcharging, it will feel icky, it will feel uncomfortable. And again, because you don't feel aligned with it, you're not going to talk about it. You're not going to convince people to come to your classes. So you're not going to have people coming to your classes. So in the end, it literally does come down to A plus A equals everyone's happy. That is the equation. You need to sit with your decisions, play around with it. What happens if I charge more? How do I feel about that? And I would always encourage you to, charge as much as you feel energetically aligned to, because remember, it's safe for you to make money teaching yoga. You have a duty to, and to turn up for your students every week with energy and abundance. going back to that point I was making, that we know nothing is fixed. You should be reviewing your prices. I tend to do it every 12 months, but I've seen people recommend that you should be doing it every 6 months. In that review of your prices, things can go up and things can go down. Like, if you get this wrong, nothing bad's going to happen. If you undercharge, you can put your prices up. If you can overcharge, you can put your prices down. And I really do sympathize. With the inner wranglings of all of this. Like I said, I'm there in the process at the moment, and I'm just going to finish today on a story. If I go back about 6 years ago now, and I knew I needed to put my prices up. I was only charging £7 per class. And I wrangled for many weeks about whether I should go £7.50 or £8 per class. I did the whole checking what other people were charging. Am I worth that much? In the end, I only went to £7.50. And I told my students, and none of them cared. They were all happy to pay this extra 50p. And I realised that the 50p was making very little difference to them. And actually what I should have done is gone for the £8, because that extra £1 per student. This is when I had my studio and I had about probably 50-60 students a week. That £1 extra per student made a huge difference to me in terms of my profit and the energy coming in. And I instantly regretted it. I instantly regretted going in at £7.50 and not £8. And I was like, well, I can't put my prices up again. I'm going to have to wait. I learnt the lesson. I really learnt the lesson, and that has always stuck with me. And I look back now and I do smile, I do laugh at how long I wrangled over 50p, how bad I felt telling my students prices were going up by 50p, and how really I was still undercharging. The energy exchange wasn't in balance, and I should have gone for that £8, and everyone would have been more than happy to have paid that, and the energy exchange would have been more in balance. More balanced. However, how do we learn? We learn from our mistakes. Going back to my practice of doing headstand in the middle of the room, I'm going to make mistakes when I'm in that process. Those mistakes will be part of the learning part of the process. All right, my lovelies, I hope that helps. I've focused on classes today, but I will reiterate, you can apply this equation. A plus A in balance equals everyone's happy to whatever service, whatever your offer is. I will be here next Friday with episode 3. In the meantime, I will ask you to please download, review the podcast, share it with your mates. Please tell people so we can spread the love, spread the joy. If you are really enjoying these podcasts and like, Amy, I want you in my life a little bit more, head over to amyyoga.com. You can check out my training courses. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. And like I said, very, very soon, I will be opening the doors to my Prosperous Yogini podcast. And I will know by then what I'm charging, having gone through this process. Gut instinct, guys. Gut instinct leads you. Your inner wisdom, your higher self, universal intelligence, the universe, whatever you want to call it. You know it's right when it's like a, hell yeah, this feels a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to go for it. Okay, my lovelies, I will see you next week.